Alameda County Water District Financing Authority to order. Please, roll call, please.
Directors Akbari,
Here.
Gunther,
Here.
Sethy,
Here.
Weed,
Here.
and Kite, here, and Huang.
Here. Director Kite, would you lead us in the salute to the flag, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, public comments. Do we have any members of the public that wish to address the Financing Authority Board? Seeing none, I will close the public comment, and let's move on to consent calendar, please. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make that motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Directors Akbari,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
Weed,
Aye.
Kite, here, and Huang.
Aye. We assume that's aye, right? Director Kite? Yes?
What? I said yes.
Okay. All right. So next, let's move on to action calendar. 5.1, resolution adopting an amended conflict of interest code. Do I have a presentation on this?
Just briefly, per the bylaws of the Financing Authority, we use the USD Conflict of Interest Code. It's been updated since the last Financing Authority meeting last January, and so the revised code is in front of the authority this evening to adopt.
Do I have comments or a motion from the board? All right. Anybody want to make a motion to adopt item 5.1?
Motion to approve staff's recommendation on item 5.1. I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Directors Akbari,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Sethy,
Aye.
Weed,
Aye.
Kite, here, and Huang.
Aye.
Oh,
So with
it's an aye or...
So with that, I believe we have a staff presentation.
Correct. We have a brief presentation this evening.
Do you have a pen that's...
Several months ago,
regular pen?
Director Sethy asked if we do any benchmarking like on the metrics the rating agencies use. And so we worked with our financial advisor to do some benchmarking based on rating agency metrics, and we thought the Financing Authority meeting would be an appropriate time to summarize some of those results. Everybody should have in front of them a copy of both the PowerPoint, but also a copy that looks like this from our financial advisor, which has much more detailed information than what is in the presentation. For the public, copies of the presentation and this report are on the back table if you're interested. So I will just go through a few of those highlights. First, as a reminder, the purpose of the Financing Authority is to finance capital improvement projects on behalf of the Alameda County Water District. Union Sanitary District is not liable for any of those obligations. And in theory, should USD ever be in a position, they could also form a similar authority with a member of the ACWD board to issue revenue bonds, should that ever be a future interest of USD. Now moving on to the rating agency benchmark comparison. We looked at the metrics used by both Moody's and Standard & Poor's. Those are the two rating agencies the district is rated by. And they each take a slightly different approach to how they do their ratings. But at the end of the day, it really gets to, is the district in a position to continue to provide service in a sustainable manner, and are the district's finances in good condition? It's essentially what it boils down to. We included the following agencies in our comparison. They are not identified by name in the packet that's been handed out. They're instead identified by the letters A, B, C, D, and E. And we felt that these are good Bay Area agencies that provide a good benchmark for us to compare against. So on the next slide, these are some of the key metrics Moody's looks at. First, the district is rated AA1 by Moody's. That's the second highest possible rating, directly below AAA. And some of the things they look at are things like service area wealth and the size of our system. Those are the things the district in its governance can do very little to change. They are what they are. Also on the bottom are rate covenants and debt service reserve requirements. Those things are set in previous bond documents, and we can't go back in history and change those either. Where the district in its day-to-day management can really control our situation is these middle items, our debt service coverage ratio, cash on hand, debt to operating revenues. And the one number I wanted to highlight on this slide is the debt to operating revenues. You can see in ACWD, our total bonded debt is less than our annual operating revenues. The ratio is 0.64, and if you compare that even to other well-rated agencies, this is an area where we have significant financial capacity compared to most agencies. Now looking at some of the Standard & Poor's metrics, where we're rated AAA, and even as a AAA agency, we actually are above the median of other AAA agencies on all three of these metrics. In particular, debt service coverage is one where we're very strong, and that's primarily because we fund most of our CIP on a pay-as-we-go basis. It's a little bit more detail about what Moody's and S&P look at and what they consider our strengths and potential concerns. You know, our financial performance is very strong, good debt service coverage, good water supplies. Some of the potential concerns, of course, is we do have a fault line that goes through the service district, and that is a significant risk that they do look at, as well as the risk of drought in a climate such as California. And so that concludes my presentation for this evening. Again, there's more detail in the other handout, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the directors?
No, I would just
Director Wee?
note the comment on drought where they said that it would reduce our operating income. I know it would reduce and increase our operating expenses, but the real impact of a drought is to reduce our revenue because of the conservation, whether needed or not.
Thank you for your comment. Other directors? Seeing none, do we have any members of the public that have questions for our staff? Seeing none, okay, then I guess that's the last item we have, and I will call the meeting adjourned at 6:02.
Thank you.